Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
It is time to wake and take with Domonique Foxworth. Dugats. 786 456 Dugats. 4837 Dugats. That's 786 Dugats. 456 Dugats. 4837 Foxworth. Domonique, call now. Dugats. Domonique Dugats. 786 456 Domonique 4837 Dugats. That's 786 Dugats. Foxworth. Domonique 456 Domonique Foxworth. 4837 786 456 4837 786 That's Domonique Foxworth. Dugats.
It is Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket. Domonique has notes. He has thoughts. He has opinions. I have not yet heard them. That is because I have simply not asked him the right questions. He could share them with you, but he will not. That would be the easy way to do it. We make you do the work. 786-456-4837. You got to ask the right question. If you ask the right questions, you'll get the answers from Domonique. Good morning, Domonique.
Good morning.
Guys, Domonique did give me, now he didn't expand on any of these things. By the way, I've been, Mike, the entire morning because my back is messed up and I'm having a hard time walking. I'm having a hard time doing anything. And I have been complaining to Domonique Foxworth, who played in the NFL for many, many years, about the pain that I am in. And I am guessing, Domonique, to a former NFL football player, hearing me, the common man, complain about a back, like that has to be annoying to you, no?
No. I mean, I extend you some sympathy. Obviously, whatever your pain threshold is that of a mere mortal and is very, very low. And I respect that about you. I can't expect you to be as tough and masculine as me and fight through all the pain.
Right.
So, I mean, I respect it. I listen. Same as when my kids, like, stub their toe and they start crying. I'm like, it's a little stub toe. You're all right.
Always takes a few seconds, right? That delayed reaction. You stub your toe, wait 5 seconds, and then you start crying. But the back injury is bad. You've had back injuries.
Yeah. I've had back spasms and those sorts of things. It locks you up, but most of the time you throw a heating pad on it and then you go out and you play a professional football game.
Oh. And I'm complaining about having to do a radio show. I did the heating pad last night. Didn't help.
Yeah, but I mean, it's tough. You got to twist to get to your microphone. You got to move your neck up and down to look at your computer screen. Yes. I understand.
Yes. Contact sports. So, again, Domonique has thoughts, opinions. He's got a lot of them. But first, we interview the shipping container. Domonique did offer me up 2 interesting topics. You guys choose. And Arash will get to you in just a second. Zach, you as well. 786-456-4837. He has an update on our conversation about toilet seat covers. Something that, again, he just gave me a sentence or two, something that I was not aware of at all. And he also, because strange things happen to Domonique every time he comes down to South Beach. Strange things happen to everyone when they come down to South Beach. Domonique saw a couple having sex in the hallway. So I asked the shipping container.
Go on.
Is that the one you're choosing?
Baby.
All right, sex in the hallway it is.
So, I come down here New Year's Eve. I will not name the hotel, but I was staying at a one of the party hotels, and I'm out on on Ocean Drive for when the clock strikes 12 and everyone yells Happy New Year. It's kind of a cool experience, but as everyone knows, I'm kind of a boring old man. So about 30 minutes later, I head to my room. I go up the elevator. I step off the elevator on my floor, turn right, and there's a gentleman sitting on the floor with a lady straddling him. There were sounds, and then I'm struck with, like, what do I do? Do I, like, try to speed by? Do I walk slowly by and hope that they don't notice me? Do I post up and enjoy the entire show? Like, all these thoughts are going through my head. So I just start walking, and the gentleman, like, acknowledges me. I don't remember exactly what he says, but it's just something like, and I was like, yeah, I hit him with a baby. And I keep walking very slowly. I get to the corner. My room's around the corner. I turn to go to my hotel room, take a couple steps down the hallway, and I'm like, nah. I turn around, walk back, take another peek, give another good 5 seconds of, like, this is really happening. And then I go to my room and go to bed.
Well, first off, my apologies. I don't remember exactly what I said either. Yeah.
But what do you do in that situation? Like, what is the proper... I
was having sex in the hallway.
All right, well, to the shipping container, what is the proper response? I told this to Mina, and she said, get back on the elevator, but the door's closing behind me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have a baller answer or anything like that. I just put my head down and I just keep walking past it meekly.
Do you really?
How do you prepare for that?
Was I wrong to go back and get a second look? That's the important part, because I felt guilty after I did it.
No, because then you were probably thinking, like, that was weak. I just walked past it. Like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
I gotta make sure.
I started justifying to myself, because as soon as I got past the corner, I was like, don't go look. Don't go back and look again. That's creepy. And then I was like, well, I mean, they're in the hallway. That's on them. It's not as if I've never watched, like, an X-rated movie. Like, It's okay to watch this.
Right.
They want to be seen.
They know what they signed up for.
Yes, when you're having sex in the hallway, you want to be seen.
You can't get to the floor without having a key card. So they had a key card, which means they could have chosen to go into a room. They decided to do that because they wanted to be seen. Some people are into that. I was helping them fulfill their fantasy.
Oh, you're saying they needed the key card just to get up to that floor.
Yeah, so they had a key card to get into a room.
Right.
They chose, nope, we're going to do it right here. You want to be seen, right?
You want to be seen, yeah.
So I did them a favor.
All right. You saw them.
What floor was this on?
And by them, I meant me.
It was on the third floor. I'm not sure what. Billy?
Were the stairs by the elevators?
Billy. So this is another thing. Before the show started.
Weird question.
No, this is important because Billy and I love Billy, and we rarely have much beef. But we had some beef this morning.
Really?
Because Billy ruins hypothetical question games. Because he asked 45 clarifying questions. This morning, Alton and I came to him with a hypothetical, and 30 minutes later, he had not answered the hypothetical because he kept asking clarifying questions. So I put him on a 3-question limit. So I would appreciate it if you guys keep this going forward. Anytime you hit Billy with a hypothetical, he has a 3-question limit 3 clarifying question limit before he must answer.
All right, I like that rule.
But lives were at stake in this question that Domonique asked me.
So what does the matter? This question, what floor? Why does that matter in this question, Billy?
Well, because
it's one question. He gets 3, you said. So.
Okay.
Were the stairs by the elevator?
I mean, they weren't far.
Like, okay, so let me rephrase that question.
Be careful. This is your third question.
No, this is a rephrasing of question 2.
No. Violation.
Well, no, because you didn't answer that one properly. The question is basically if the stairs are next to the elevator, like, could you avoid the couple if you have gone up the stairs, essentially, is why I'm asking that other question.
Of course you could avoid them if you got up the stairs, but who cares?
He wasn't expecting people having sex in the hallway.
Well, no, Billy, but I'm saying,
this is how you ruin it, Billy.
Well, no, because this is what I would have done. I would have tried to avoid them. So I would have just gone to the stairs. It's a 3rd floor. I could walk up.
No. You could not, from the elevator, you had to go past them to get to the stairs.
But if you had gone to the stairs, you could have gotten to your room without passing them, right? Basically, what I'm saying is if I could have avoided them, I would have avoided them by taking the stairs.
Okay, so why would you want to avoid them? They clearly wanted to be seen. It's not as if you've never seen something like that before.
And you have no idea what you're about to say.
You made eye contact?
I don't think I made eye contact. I think he made a noise, like, hey, because he recognized that I was there.
It was buh. I'm surprised you came back 5 seconds later and it was still going on. It was a Sunday. Day of the week. Nice.
Oh, man. You're still on fire from yesterday. You had a great day yesterday. You are still rolling.
I'm rolling. Back is killing me, man. That sex in the hallway. All right, let's take a call. Let's go to Arash. Arash, you're on Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket. Go ahead.
Yeah, both Jeter and Nick Saban are now in the official Red Crusty Big Guy Club. In my personal record book, they need to be taken out back and put down like Bambi. When life gives you lemons, you don't kiss a gift horse on the mouth. But these guys French kiss a gift horse. Super douche and super bozo. Speaking of those, I'm losing, unwinding PJ Fleck. Also, what's up with green jello? Green jello is overrated. I mean, seriously. When you got orange and cherry, why do you need that green jello? If I want something green, I go eat a cucumber. Peace.
Rash him. He's rusted.
He finished strong. It was rough there in the middle, but he finished strong.
Green jello, I'm with him on that, though. First off, I'm not with him from the standpoint that it's overrated. I don't think it's rated at all. But you're going cherry, right? You're going red jello. Always, right? Always.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, all jello tastes like jello. Like, you're just going for the color at this point. I don't really know that jello has much of a flavor.
I feel like red jello tastes better than any other jello.
Put it on the poll.
Put that on the poll. First off, is green jello overrated? That's the first poll question at Batard Show on Twitter. And then secondly, does red jello taste better than any other jello?
Can we get one of these hallway sex questions up there? Like, do you stop and watch or do you avoid?
However you want to phrase it. Have Guillermo put it up there.
Yeah. Put it on the poll, Guillermo.
Sex in the hallway.
Do you stop and watch?
Stop and watch?
Or avoid?
Okay. I like that. Let's go to Zach. Zach, go ahead. You're on Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket.
Good morning. So my daughter has she believes it's a slight peanut allergy. I think she's bogus on it. And I tell her she's missing out by not having Reese's Peanut Butter Cups in her life.
She is.
She says, no, I can live without it. I mean, I feel like she needs to be spoken to. How would you go about that? And also, I just had a literally duck under my car, and I was trying to hit it, but I couldn't do it. It ducked under my car. Unbelievable.
All right. Rash him.
That took a turn.
What? Guy was to kill ducks? What's going on?
What do you do with the Reese's problem?
Well, I'm not 100% sure that what's in Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is even peanut butter. So you tell her it's not peanut butter. Have at it.
But what if she is actually allergic to, he's questioning whether or not his own daughter is allergic to peanut butter. I don't want to live in a world where I can't have Reese's Pieces or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I can't. I don't want it.
The second half of that call, while very bizarre, did get me thinking, is that the origin of the word to duck, the verb to duck? Did it come from actual ducks? Is this something that ducks do? How did we come up with that verb?
You want me to look it up? Or
what do you think? And then let's look it up.
That's a good question. I often get in these holes where I'm confused about that. Like yesterday, yesterday someone used the term heyday. Like what's a heyday? I think Billy said he was back in my heyday. Like what is a heyday?
Let's go write these down. Heyday and duck. We need to find out the origins.
All right, I'm checking out. I'm looking up duck right now. Oh,
Chris, look up heyday.
So while you guys make these inquiries, why does this man want to kill ducks? Can we send somebody to his house
and
to
his
make
daughter?
Sure? Yeah, that is,
exactly.
That is true. I didn't even point to that fact.
His daughter.
Yeah, but you can't believe your daughter if she says she has a light allergy to peanuts. What are you, a doctor? How old is this daughter? That's a fib, right?
Well, I mean, what if? Do we know? Get him back on the line.
My mom always told me
Get Zach back.
My mom always told me I was allergic to bees and bee stings, but I've never been stung by a bee. I've lived my life assuming I've been allergic to bees, but
you want to try it out? Should we try it out today?
I'll put it on the grid of death.
Sometimes you have to roll the dice. I think Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are worth it.
It's worth a roll of the dice. I'm with you. It is. You would jeopardize your life to have a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, wouldn't you? Put that on the poll. Would you jeopardize your life to have a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? I would.
Are there other things that any of you guys have been lied to about from your parents that you're finding out as an adult is not true? Because I feel like there is no, like, you have to take a test to get a driver's license. Anybody can get some kids if you just find somebody who's a willing participant, and then they tell them and teach them all types of ridiculous things. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sure your mother's a wonderful person.
She's dead.
I love her. God rest her soul. I'm going to go home now.
Hi, everyone. Stugatz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugatz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugatz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
You know what? He got me excited for baseball season in this Marlins team. He really did.
You are so full of it.
Not even close to fired up.
Stugatz.
Last time you went to a Marlins game, you went in a Mets shirt, and they put you on the Jumbotron.
They sure did.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on the ticket.
David Samson, former Marlins team president, joins us every week. Going to join us right now on the Orion Fuel and Downstairs Convenience Store guest line. They are truly steps beyond convenient.
He reviews movies for us. He is an aficionado. His tastes run eclectic, I would say. Have you met a lot of people, and we'll talk about the Marlins stuff with him as well. Have you met a lot of people in your life, David, whose film tastes are very well aligned with your own?
I actually haven't. I've met a lot of people who like certain movies I like, but people are very surprised sort of at the different nature that I have time to watch a movie every day, but I tell them it's super easy when you never sleep.
Well, right. This is the other thing. He's an insomniac, and I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of things that are worse than being an insomniac. What kind of ailments?
In a dark room alone.
For how long, and what's the size of the room? Because if I can sleep in that room, I'll be fine. Right. If I can't have insomnia in that room, that would be terrible.
Right, imagine being in that room and not being able to sleep.
Right, that would be right. How do you make that situation worse? I can never sleep.
Exactly right. And your eyes can never adjust because it's pitch black and there's noise outside of people trying to break in and kidnap you.
What would you identify as the most unusual thing about you? You are a unique person. What would you say? This is the most. Even I know that this is unusual about me because we've talked about your panic room. You got a panic room in the house. You're an insomniac. What would you say is unusual?
I think my ability to once in a while show some sort of empathy, and it's very rare, which is why people wouldn't expect it. But when it comes hard.
What are you looking at, Domonique? What's the matter? What happened? Are you?
It's just yesterday you guys ranked the weirdest people in the shipping container, and I don't know Mr. Samson. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I feel like
he's unusual. Yes.
Gold medal.
Everybody was saying that I'm the weirdest one here. So you're in bad company, David. Like you and I are considered the weirdos. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've gotten distracted. I've got these documents here. Journalism. I'm going to do journalism here in a second. But first, let's review a movie.
Oh.
I went to see The Disaster Artist. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I had never heard of this movie called The Room, which is this cult classic, not like Let It Ride, not like Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's supposed to be the worst movie in the world. So James Franco cast himself and directed and cast his brother Dave Franco, who happens to be married to Alison Brie, who's in the movie, got a bunch of his friends together, not unlike This Is the End and certain other movies he's worked on, and made a parody of this movie. And here's the funny thing about it. It is a really great, great movie because of what they were trying to do. They were trying to make fun. It's actually what you do on your radio show. You're making fun of yourselves all the time while trying to have people take you seriously, and they don't know how to react. So it's sort of like looking at an eclipse. You need to wear certain glasses, but still your retinas are going to burn. And that's how I felt at the end of this movie. I had to watch it, but I felt as though it hurt while I was watching because I felt so badly for this guy, Tommy Wiseau, who is apparently rich, but no one knows why. He has this weird accent. James Franco didn't look like himself, and he cast Melanie Griffith and Sharon Stone in this movie, who between the two of them looked horrid, which was horribly horrifying for me, given my memories of Something Wild and Basic Instinct, and it made me feel old. But he basically put a movie together making fun of this movie that everyone made fun of that somehow turned into a cult classic. And I don't want to do a spoiler alert. It's been nominated for a bunch of awards, but you got to stay through the credits because at the end, the best part of the movie is the last 4 minutes of the movie during the credits.
Do you give a movie, like, will you say you've enjoyed watching a movie? Would you give it a positive review just because of the ambition of it, even if they don't execute it?
No, I'm a consequentialist. So you get no credit for trying. It has to be a good movie. So for me, this was only okay, this movie. I respect what he was trying to do. I respect the amount of work that James Franco did. He is a talented, smart guy. He writes, he does poetry. He's a thespian in the true sense of the word. And I think he was just trying a little too hard in this movie. But again, that's the character that he was playing, a guy who always tried too hard. I just don't think it worked on that many levels, but you have to see it if you're into the award season. And I actually enjoyed watching Dave Franco and James Franco work together because they're both pretty talented.
Have you gotten a chance to look at any of what Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald is reporting in terms of these Miami Marlins investment opportunity documents that were...
Now, that is a Dan Rather segue right there. That's right. I mean, that's tremendous. Do you have the glasses on the end of your nose like Brian Gumble?
That's right. I'm also scribbling notes right now to myself that don't mean anything. I've got this important thought, but it's just a doodle. Yeah, I'm doing that now, and I'm gonna take my glasses off, look at a camera, and then go... Let's move on. So
he is such a blowhard. Oh my God!
I like him.
He interviewed me twice.
I like
He's a
him.
Blowhard, man. Literally,
you're a blowhard too. You're both blowhards.
But at least I say I'm a blowhard. He is a blowhard while pretending to be serious.
That's a fair point. I mean, David does acknowledge that he's a blowhard.
I like Brian Gumble. I'm not giving David Samson points for self-awareness on being a blowhard. It's blowhard means blowhard, regardless.
I'm a consequentialist.
Yes, a consequentialist. That's right. When you say that, that's total blowhard. That sounds like something Gumble would say.
That's a philosophy. It just means that if you're going to do something, look at the results. No matter what the process was,
right.
If you got the job done, you got the job done.
What was
Don't tell me you're preparing to play football, right? And you work hard during the off season, and then you suck and can't make a tackle during the season. Does that mean you're a good player because you tried hard? No, it means you stink.
Let's move on.
Okay. Yes, I read 2 articles. I guess it's like a 5-part series. I read the first 2.
And was there anything in there that was interesting? Like, what were your takeaways from what's been reported on these documents? What was your takeaway from what's been reported?
I continue to be sad. I literally, which is strange for me. It's a strange emotion. There's just so much noise around the Marlins. I was there for so many years, and I never had a chance, I feel as though, to just focus on the field. I agree that there were some self-inflicted wounds during my years by me, mostly. But come on, he's been there for
David, get closer to your phone. I don't know where you are. Get closer to your phone, please. We can't hear you.
I was picking my toenails, so I was very focused on a brown toenail from running. But I'm back.
All right. By the way,
found it to be.
Hold on. Speaking of weird, he is doing. Listen to this. This is what he's doing. He is doing 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents, 7 consecutive days. Speaking of being crazy,
that's impressive.
No, how many people have done it? And how many?
57 people in the world, and we leave. I'm doing it with Jeff Conine and a bunch of other people. A guy with Parkinson's, a woman with one leg, a winner of Survivor named Sarah Lucina, and we are going. We leave for Africa 3 weeks from today, actually.
Let me ask you. Let's move on. Let me ask you specifically about some of the things that are in these documents here. The numbers seem outlandish to me. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, how do they expect to get this amount of money for their TV deal? You were trying to get the Marlins a TV deal. The Marlins TV deal is really bad. Do they have any chance of getting whatever these numbers are that they think they're going to get on this TV deal, even with that BAM Tech money?
Well, that's a two-sided question. The BAM Tech money has nothing to do with the TV deal. Listen, I've said from the beginning, and no one wanted to hear, the Marlins have the worst TV deal in baseball, which, thank you, I negotiated in 2005, and it just ended up being way too low. So there is definitely more money to be had. I just don't know what amounts can be expected or when. But listen, Derek has very capable people around him, so I guess you fly out to L.A., or maybe it's now Bristol because ESPN bought him, and you try to cut a deal as best as you can.
But David, I mean, look, that's nice of you to say, but there's no competitors anymore. Like ESPN just bought all the competitors, so there's no way they're going to get that TV money. Like I don't know. You know more about these things. You know more about these things than I do. You think that you were headed toward a big TV deal after negotiating what you said was the bad deal?
I was. I mean, I know for a fact that I was able to be in a position where if things were different, there was a chance for a bigger TV deal. I just can't tell you when that would start. I mean, and I don't know how this ends. But again, what does it matter? Why is this worthy of conversation or a 5-part series by Barry Jackson? Why can't a team with whatever payroll win? Why can't you have better scouting, better development, and better players and have a chance?
That's all fine, David. That's all fine. All of that can happen, but the plan can't be from the starting point. We're going to be cheaper and more efficient and better than everyone else, and that's how we're going to win. They may have $100 million payrolls, but we're going to be better than the Cubs and Red Sox and Yankees because we're going to be smarter than them. Get out of here with that as a business plan when you've had a stadium built for you.
Oh, come on. That's a non sequitur. It has nothing to do with this stadium. And by the way, I'm so tired of you saying that the stadium was built for the Marlins. Jeffrey put in $160 million into the ballpark.
Oh, listen to me. You will not defend Jeffrey Lurie on this radio show. Yeah, okay. Seriously, I will run you over. He put in $100 million of his dollars. Congratulations. After originally putting in for $10 million, gifted the Expos, ruining them, comes down here and makes $1.2 billion. Hey, thanks, Jeffrey, for building one room in your palatial estate that made you $1 billion from South Florida. You put in $100 million. You put in a painting. You put in one of his paintings. I got to put you on hold. I'm looking at my app under Merriam-Webster for a definition of blowhard, and that was just the last 20 seconds. That was it. Like, that is the epitome of blowhard. I'm not defending Jeffrey Lurie for
putting one thing right in that entire.
What do you mean I didn't say anything? What do you mean I didn't say anything right?
The guy didn't get $1.2 billion. That was the price of.
What did he buy in for? What's the number? Give me the number he bought into baseball for.
I'm not talking. I'm merely correcting what you said is wrong. I'm not going to defend or anything if you don't have facts. Just stop reading your own paper.
What do you mean I don't have facts? What do you mean I don't have?
You don't have the facts.
How?
So Miami did not build the Marlins a ballpark? Jeffrey Lurie did?
It was a public-private partnership using tourist tax dollars that cannot be used for anything else. No police, no fire, no radio stations, no hospital workers, no teachers.
It could have been used elsewhere. It could have been used elsewhere.
Tell me where. Just name a place. Name one place, and then we'll talk about it. Name a place. There was not one additional dollar of taxes made or imputed onto one person in Miami for the ballpark.
Nonsense. We say in our own hotels all the time.
Well, listen, what you do by the hour is your own business.
All right, cool.
Right? I mean, I'm in. By the way, you're correct. If you stay in your own hotels, then you are a participant. God bless you.
Can I ask a question?
And by the way, I'm a participant too. God bless me.
I'm not from Miami, and I do not have all the anger that some people have, but it would seem to me that if revenue is coming into the state, no matter where it's coming from, the state could choose, the city in this case, could choose to use it in any way they want.
I hear you,
money is fungible, so if they could choose to put it towards a stadium, they could also choose to put it towards something else, right?
Can't. But they can't. That's the law, right? There's a law that says there's literally tourist revenue that has to go toward stadiums, convention centers, things like that. That's it. It cannot go to the general fund. That's just the law. Now, funnily enough, there is a legislative initiative in Tallahassee in between the snowflakes that will allow tourist dollars to go toward general revenue. If that existed, there would not have been a ballpark.
David, what'd you make of Rob Manfred's appearance on this show?
I was smiling. I mean, I think that Dan did his best imitation of 60 Minutes. I just thought, Dan, that you were way too emotional, that many of your points got lost in your emotion about this whole Marlins situation. You had an opportunity to speak to the commissioner about real issues surrounding baseball in Miami, and it got lost in the fact that you were too emotional, which is a good lesson. You're emotional. You should try to be a little more like me with zero emotion, and it can be very helpful. Like, for example, obviously the last 364.
Get near the phone, toenail clipper. Get near the phone. Look, here, you want me to be direct? How about you fudging all these attendance numbers that are in these papers, these documents? I'm looking at these documents. They've got an attendance figure that's, I don't know what the hell this attendance figure is, but it's not how many people you had as paying customers, and now they've got the attendance growing. How the hell, Dave? Seriously. How? How can you have a budget that has the attendance growing? Honestly.
in theory, the reason people were not coming to games is they were unhappy with me and unhappy with Jeffrey and unhappy with the team. That's the theory that is being
just the product, David.
No, and the theory before was so many betrayals that all we need is a ballpark. That was the theory before.
Right. You remember 2003, we won the damn World Series, and when we clinched the wild card, there were about 10,000 people at Pro Player.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just want to remind you that we sold out for
but the ballpark
games.
was going to fix that, David. Remember? The ballpark was going to fix that.
It was supposed to, but our attendance in 2012 was horrible. Now, granted, we had Castro and all sorts of other issues that took place, but the attendance in 12 was terrible. So we didn't win. By the way, our team sucked.
Yeah, but what I'm tired of, Dave, is that being put on South Florida. Like, not the lack of winning part. The part that once you got the stadium, what was supposed to end, you guys are saying, well, you guys didn't come. And it's like, yeah, there were a lot of reasons not to come. Like, everybody keeps blaming the customer in South Florida when there are very good reasons because the customer keeps getting bleeped in South Florida.
No, the customer's always right in any business, and I agree with you, but that's different here because while the customer's right, it's a business. Let's talk about the Dolphins. They've stunk for 16 out of 18 years, maybe more. And where's all the articles about the 5-part series about them and about the way they're run and about the idiocy that is happening down with Dolphins and their team?
Oh, they weren't crooks. They weren't crooks. They weren't crooks in cahoots with the commissioner.
By the
and
way,
Stephen Ross actually paid for the stadium.
Hey, when you start talking about defamation, you better just be careful, Dan, because that is an absolutely incorrect characterization of me. And just be careful. I'm happy to do your radio show. I'm happy to review movies. I'm happy to do all that. But don't start throwing around words that have actual meaning.
Okay, crooks.
Have actual meaning.
Where's the line on this? Liars! Thieves!
What can we call you?
Like, what would be okay?
Anything that does not involve soap on a rope,
Snakes.
I'm happy to be called.
Is snakes okay? Snakes!
100%.
All right, fine.
Perfect.
All right.
Remember, I am 5'5", 128 pounds. Do not call me a crook. It won't go well for me.
Do you have any other movies to review?
Not this week.
Any other movies that you want to talk about? Any other movies that you've seen that you want to talk about?
I guess I'm going to just mention, because people are going to see it, All the Money in the World was absolute.
Oh, for the love of God. That's it. Cut him off. I'm done with him. I mean, it's your phone again and your toenails.
Hey, thank Jeffrey for the stadium.
Yeah.
Bowl season is here. Are you ready to cash in on what you know? Where you play is as important as what you play. The pros play at mybookie.ag. All the lines, odds, and plays, both college and pro, all at mybookie.ag. Play where you get paid super fast and there's never a hassle. Step up and mybookie.ag will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code CHAMPION to activate the offer. Don't leave the money on the table. mybookie.ag. Promo code CHAMPION and your first deposit is matched up to 50%. Play where the pros play because they get paid. mybookie.ag.
Don Le Batard.
You okay, John?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was going to ask that. Is everything okay?
Oh, cough. No, I have allergies, so it makes me cough.
Okay, no problem.
Stugats.
You okay?
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. How about you?
I'm fine.
Thanks for your concern.
Thanks for yours.
I've never had anyone I've never met this concerned over me and my health, so I appreciate it.
Okay, man, I'm a big fan, man. I'm concerned about it.
It's funny, John.
No, I'm not okay.
Finally, man.
You don't care how I'm doing anyway. What the hell are you asking me for? You don't really care.
It's so true.
You don't even know me.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats on the ticket.
I think we need to turn our attention to smoking out Bruce Sherman, the new Marlins owner. That didn't go very well, right? I felt like I lost the room. Whenever I lose the shipping container is a very good rudder for whether things are going well around here. Yesterday, Domonique Foxworth, who's in with us today, was jumping around like if he was at a concert in a mosh pit. Because of Stugats' take.
It felt like I was at a live performance of...
Really propelled me, to be honest with you. You're cheering. Yeah.
Right, but so the room is a good gauge, and I lost the room in the last segment. Now, I often lose the room whenever we're talking baseball, but I also feel like the room doesn't like David Samson. I've always liked David Samson. I like just about anybody who's willing to be publicly weird. I've gravitated throughout my career toward the weirdos, like the Terrell Owens and Ricky Williams and John Amici. Like I gravitate toward the weirdos because it's more real to me that what Mike McCarthy's talking about on Thursdays.
Right. I think the problem with Samson is, the baseball stuff. We run out of baseball questions to ask him, and now we're just left with movies.
Well, no, I would say it's okay to talk. I have not run out of baseball questions, but he didn't answer very many.
I don't think he's going to answer them.
No, that felt slippery, and that felt more slippery than the last times that we have done this with him, where you might not get the answers that you want or he could talk around anything. He could, you're not going to trick that guy into saying something he doesn't mean. He could talk around everything, but that's not useful for us in terms of I never got an answer to whether the attendance numbers were fudged. The answer that I got on the TV deal, it just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel accurate that they're going to go. You explain to me how they're going to go from the worst TV deal in baseball in this market with everything that's happened in this market to all of a sudden being able to parlay this into some monster TV deal when there are no two bidding sides anymore. There used to be ESPN, Fox were bidding for stuff. That doesn't exist anymore. Disney just bought Fox.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure how accurate that is because on the regional level, there was only Fox, and that doesn't change. There's only one mega company that's negotiating. Mm-hmm. Fox regionally, down here at least, didn't have another competitor. Now, we've seen in years past other cable companies just create a network out of these negotiations, and the Marlins could leverage that potentially, but there's no word here locally in the papers that there's any other contenders.
I don't know. Now, Domonique can actually help us here because he knows business. But what I would say to you is that what ESPN just did, you're right, that if Fox went regional, they would just grab the regional stuff. But that's what kept Fox in the sports game. The threat of ESPN starting to buy those is what kept Fox keeping the prices right. Am I missing something? So I feel like ESPN just bought the market, so now they set the market. Baseball is not the television sport it was. It's doing very well on the internet.
It is in certain markets.
Right. Yes, but baseball is not the television sport that it was. It is in Boston and Los Angeles. It ain't here, and it's never going to be here.
So why would a network even pay the Marlins? Yes.
And a network that will now not be bidding against anybody.
Yep. Yeah, well, a network that, unlike Fox, is really saddled with these huge mega TV deals that several outlets report are way too high, like the Monday Night Football package. So they're going to be looking to cut costs in that regard.
I mean, it's hard to understand how the competitive landscape will pan out, but I think we talked about the sale of BAMTech. Like, the technology is there to go over the top. You just need to have a credible alternative to be able to create leverage with ESPN. And I'm not sure that they do have a credible alternative. I'm not sure how many South Florida's baseball fans will go to an over-the-top service. But if they can convince Fox or ESPN or whoever will own that network by then that they could go elsewhere, then that is leverage. But it's hard to create leverage if you don't have a viable product that people are actually going to watch. If you get rid of the only player that people care to see,
right?
I don't know.
That's where we are with this, though. And when you look at some of these numbers in these documents that the Miami Herald has, they've got here things happening that simply don't seem possible. For example, they've got budget in here, the idea that they're going to get naming rights. Do you know how hard people have been trying to get naming rights in the city for anything? Like, this speaks to an absolute lack of knowledge that South Florida doesn't do corporate sponsorships. We've got the gambling casinos are the only thing willing to put the names on stadiums down here. And a tiny Pepsi dot that might as well be a bottle cap on the stadium.
We had Sun Life for a while, right?
But Jeter thinks he's going to come down here and have some big sponsor because he's Jeter.
But why wouldn't Jeter think that? Based on everything that happened in Derek Jeter's career, why wouldn't he think that and put that in the documents?
Because he's a smart human being and he knows better than that he can't just go flash his smile and people are going to throw millions of dollars.
No, but Domonique, I think he does think that. Well, that he can walk into any corporate door.
I've been told that's why Bruce Sherman is in the game. Jeter might think that because I've been told that Bruce Sherman just wants to be near Jeter, that he's one of these memorabilia heads. That he's a big kid with billions of dollars, and so he just wants to hang out with Jeter. Yeah, Jeter, you go ahead and run Jeter's my employee. Derek Jeter. Yeah, who knows what's going on in this guy's childhood? Smoke him out.
But these huge public companies that want to make money I mean, they do sophisticated analysis on the risk reward of these type of contributions. And you think they're going to go into their board meetings and say, hey, we're going to put $50 million towards this Marlins situation. You know why? Derek Jeter.
That's right.
They might,
yes. You think the shareholders will stand for that? No.
Dan just said a guy bought a baseball team to get closer to Derek Jeter.
That's one man.
So what if a company wants to be close to Derek Jeter?
They would not. No. That is like you are under appreciating the sophistication of these companies. This one man may not be very sophisticated, but public companies, you think Pepsi's going to be like, hey, but we get to say we're close to Derek Jeter? I almost cursed.
All right, so here's what the deal is. If you don't know who that voice is, that's Domonique Foxworth. You may just know him as a former cornerback in the NFL, but he does know business, and he was the head of the Players Union in football, and he was the COO of the NBA Players Union. He actually, he knows business.
I'm also wildly attractive.
So I set up your credentials for the audience.
You are.
Because I don't know these documents that I have in front of me. I don't know how to read them. I am not a numbers person. I just see some things that are funny. And I'm curious as I ask you this, because I saw on here that there was just a Jeter bonus if he doesn't have to make cash calls. If he doesn't have to ever ask investors to put in cash, there's a bonus in here. It just says Jeter bonus. And I'm looking at it, and I'm stunned that Jeter would put his name on it instead of just a bonus. But it's basically a bonus that says, if I profit, as long as I don't call you for money, I will make more of your money. While making $5 million a year in a job where he has all of the power but put in very little of the money. He put in $25 million. We'll get that over the 5-year contract. So he's literally put in $0 based on what he's been guaranteed.
Well, it could be sooner than 5 years now if he doesn't pick up that phone.
That's right.
It sounds like, so you've been very dismissive of Jeter's business acumen and kind of disrespectfully calling him a shortstop. Seems like he's pretty good at business. At least the business of Derek Jeter. He managed to manipulate or to leverage his celebrity and whatever that is into making a lot of money for Derek Jeter. The fact that it may be unscrupulous is a different conversation, but we can't say that he's bad at business.
Oh, no, here's the thing. I don't know whether he is bad at business or not, and I think your point is well made that Derek Jeter is very good at the business of being Derek Jeter.
He just got a baseball team for $25 million.
No, yes.
Phenomenal.
What he did, can you get that to share a sound, the jealous mark to share a sound? Because yes, but what I'm saying, David Samson is also extraordinary at business. And what's been happening down here that's offensive to me is that these people who are extraordinary at business with Rob Manfred in cahoots keep doing these things to South Florida that make it no-lose situations for them and largely lose situations for us with the promise of, hey, maybe you won't lose if we can win on the cheap as well, but they're largely lose situations as they all make the money. And just so that people understand, because people think I'm emotional because they traded the right fielder. I don't care whether they traded Giancarlo Stanton or not. What I care about is some of these contract clauses that the only time I've ever heard of them is with this particular group, David Samson and Jeffrey Loria, back when they were with the Expos,
right,
where guys could keep profiting off the team, and then eventually they'll just leave. They'll leave you with a stadium, and they'll just leave.
So one of the things that David Samson...
They have a lease, by the way. That's not necessarily a reasonable fear, but it can get so bad down here and be their fault that it gets so bad down here that they just say South Florida doesn't work as a baseball market, and then they'll put it on us.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that David Samson said that I would push back against, and a lot of people say about baseball and football and everything, is that it's a business, and they try to justify these decisions by saying it's their business decisions. But it's not a real business as much as it's a cartel when essentially your success is decoupled, or your financial success is decoupled from your on-field success. And I think that's the biggest problem, is that they can be successful. And you see that in Cincinnati. People wonder why they re-signed Marvin Lewis, because Marvin Lewis, they are notoriously a cheap franchise, and Marvin Lewis maintains them as a respectable football team while they also don't have to spend much money. We all assume that everyone wants to win. I'm sure they want to win, but do they need to win in the same? We talked about these public companies. Pepsi needs to innovate. Pepsi needs to compete in a way, or they will not survive in that ecosystem. In this ecosystem, the Marlins don't need to win in order to be financially
That's the
success.
part that's infuriating to me.
So it's not a business. It's a cartel. And let's not pretend like you're...
But one of the problems, Dan, is it's only infuriating to you. The rest of the country doesn't care, and a lot of people down here don't even care.
That's
a problem.
Okay, and no, look, that's fine that they don't care. They don't have to care. Baseball has earned not caring in this market. We've gone from anger and emotion and betrayal to total numbness. They deserve to not have customers in this market with the stuff that they have done.
People are throwing around that they were spending so much money. They really weren't in comparison to other teams. They were ranked 20th in payroll last year.
And now they're going down.
It's not like they were in the top 10. They were in the bottom third of payroll. So they're just slashing even more. And they're not going to get to that payroll that they were at this year until 2021, if you believe what Barry Jackson was writing, which is 4 years from now, 5 years from now. So who knows how low that will be.
They're trying to get to the TV contract, and the next 5 years are going to be so bad that they don't deserve to have one paying customer in their stadium because they are just stripping it down because of all the previous ways that South Florida got raped on business. They're now correcting it. They're making the correction by overselling by $400 million because they wanted to get that market price to $1.2 billion. And now what? Now Derek Jeter's in a no-lose situation. No-lose situation, even if he loses. And what ends up happening there is like South Florida is going to get blamed for that one. Oh, you guys just didn't support baseball. And it's like, why would we support this? And the part that I think got missed before we went on vacation there is the reason that I thought the Manfred interview was good, not because it's pyrotechnics, arguing, whatever. The commissioner of the league is so ashamed of what he's doing that he felt the need to publicly get angry at me and lie about it. Like, he knows. That's why he lied. He knows that how shameful this bleep is. Like, he knows. What other reason would he have to lie about this? When I simply asked him, did you see this plan? And his answer is no. Like, your job as the commissioner of the league is to be the guy who consolidates the owners. You bring things to them. You brought them a plan of $1.2 billion to sell to a shortstop and didn't check it? Then on top of lying, you're incompetent. Like, which is, you're one or the other. Like, you went to your owners with this plan and that's why he didn't tell the truth. It's the reason. Do I sound like a gas bag?
I'm just watching. I love how angry you're getting. Yeah, very passionate. Yeah,
whiny.
I
feel bad for you. You're so alone.
We need to figure out how to help Dan express his emotions in a way that doesn't come across as gas baggy or whiny. Because I'm on Dan's side. I love Dan. I agree with him.
But it's bad radio.
But that bleep was whiny.
No, I mean, we all do. We all love him. We all agree with him. I've been listening to it for a month.
Yeah, I've reached the point where I'm crystal clear on all the facts.
All right. Well, you're all right.
It's January 28th.
Billy, do we need to move on? We need to move on.
Should we send Sherman just like a bunch of autographs, or maybe we can get someone to come with us? Like, Mickey Mantle's dead, right? Not him.
The next stage on this has to be, okay, we got to make this funny.
There's a next stage?
We need to get someone to come with us to give him an autograph to get to him.
Hold on. We got to figure this out. This has to become funny instead of whiny. What can we do to smoke out Bruce Sherman? That's the next installment of wherever it is this evolution goes.
Hello, I'd like to deposit this to checking.
Fate is a fickle master.
What?
The future is uncertain.
Okay, and what's my account balance?
The horizon is cloudy. I see a long, treacherous voyage filled with great peril.
Look, can I just get a deposit slip or something?
A fortune bank teller. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I see a yellow-eyed serpent and a low APR.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.